maybe. But I did want to talk about how Sally powered up, and it looked like she was running super fast. And then they cut
Yo.
to her, and then it looked like she just running normally. I'm like, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Herbal Synergy, the shop. I'm your host, NG, as always. With me, my co-host, Bay.
What up?
What's up, Irby? Do you know what episode this is, big guy?
I do. It's 99.
Yes. So you know what we're doing next week?
No, I don't even know what I'm doing today.
Me either. I don't know if we continue it, and should we continue our creation of an anime world, or should we dive into a tournament?
I did have a tournament thought the other day, but
Did you?
yeah, I can't remember it, but it'll come back to me at some point.
Hopefully before next week.
It might not. Who knows?
Now, for the more pressing matters, flavor. Hot, spicy, sweet, cold. What do you got?
I had to go with Karama dying for a second time this week.
Who?
Uh, Karama. You didn't pick up how he sounded just like Karama when the dragon was talking?
When the dragon was talking? Oh, did he?
Yep. I
And
was
he
like, oh.
and he gave his powers. Oh, it could be a little Naruto inspired thing. It was like, hey, do you know who I am? I'm the nine-tailed fucking fox.
I was like, oh, that sounds awfully familiar. And then we did the laugh. I was like, oh, it's Karama.
Nah, I didn't pick up on that.
Damn.
I don't.
That's cause,
The one thing I like about subbed is I never noticed the similarities in voices.
how could you not? I noticed like all the similarities
Because
in everyone.
I'm not really paying attention to it. I'm like trying to read and watch what's going on at the same time. So I'm not really like, oh, this person sounds like this. You know what I mean?
No, I don't, because a lot of people just sound familiar to me, and I'm like, oh, this is so and so. When I looked it up,
Yeah, nope, don't know.
yeah, must be nice to be oblivious to things that right in your face.
It is. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling.
I don't know, but yeah, yeah, that whole episode was pretty cool. I definitely thought it was going to be a two-part episode, though.
Me
I was like,
too.
oh, I was like, oh. Shh. 'Cause I looked at the time. I was like, oh, we're like halfway through. I was like, they're just starting to fight the dragon. I said, oh, this is about to be a two-parter. I was wrong.
Nope.
But yeah, I enjoyed the whole episode. The whole episode was great.
Yeah, it
It kind of
was.
it kind of went by kind of fast. I was like, oh, dang, what? End episode. Yeah, and then I thought it was some finality at the end. I was like, oh, mm, half a season, but it's not done. But anyhow, yeah, your flavor.
My flavor, I just read my flavor, and it is the 2 million billion gazillion IQ play by Sakuna taking over Megumi's body. Holy shit. Like, I didn't even think that was possible with eating Yuji's finger.
But is it UG? Because Sukuna took over his body at that point where they just switched places.
Would that make it his finger?
That's what I was thinking. That's why he fed it to him.
And then what if Yuji eats another finger?
Another of his own fingers or
Ano-
one of Sukuna's
like one of
fingers?
the 5 missing fingers.
I don't know. Sukuna might get a little stronger.
Nah, but like with Sukuna and Megami, what if Yuji eats a finger right now? Like what do you think would happen?
I don't think it's because it's not one of his original fingers. So I'm gonna say no. It's not gonna make a difference.
No. I mean one of the original ones.
If Megami eats one,
No. If Yuji eats a original finger right now with Sukuna in Megami's body, what do you think would happen?
Nothing. Except for Yuji might get a little stronger,
Hmm.
but about it. I don't think it would affect the Megami because now they're two separate entities.
Like it's kind of yeah, it's kind of weird now, right? Because like even though Sukuna gave fed his finger, which was Yuji's finger, into Megami to take over Megami, Yuji's body is still the one that ate the 15 fingers, isn't it?
Yeah. So
I'm curious to how that plays out.
who knows?
But
But
regardless, I don't know if Megami's gonna be strong enough to hold back Sukuna.
I feel like Megami is probably from a strong bloodline or something. So because because I think he was supposed to be, he was in like the line of succession, but then he went and married outside the clan or whatever. So I don't
Hmm.
know. We'll see.
Hmm.
We shall see.
All right, well, what would you like to discuss first, my good sir?
Let's see. Let's get just go ahead and roll with that to Jujutsu since it's already right here.
Hey, it's here, it's there. Go ahead.
Yeah. So apparently it's not his sister. Some entity took over her body, and they got all of her memories and know all the plans, and they end up making a rule where you can go between the colonies and freely and such. So she's like, I haven't fought in 1,000 years. I want to fight somebody. I want to fight Sukuna. So I was like, oh, okay. And then so Sukuna, the deal that he made with Yuji before, where if he switched places, he switched places for a minute. He does his on chain, which he gets a minute of body time, and Sukuna then knocks out the angel and forces Megami to eat a finger. I was like, oh, I was like, he got the marks. It's like,
Yep.
what's going on here?
Yep. But I can't help but feel like Yuji's a more suitable. What do I want to say? A more suitable. Um,
Attaboy hosts.
yeah, for Sukuna. So I think Sukuna's doing this to fight that the whatever cursed spirit took over Megami's sister, and then he'll just like throw himself back into Yuji for entertainment.
Yeah. So I don't know. It should be interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, and how much of Yuji's strength just left him? Like, is he somehow weaker now that he unmerged with Sukuna? I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of questions now.
I don't look at it as like he unmerged. I just look at it as like Yuji still has those ten finger powers into him. So I feel like it's just a little bit of transfer of power, but he still has the 10 fingers. So
Hmm.
yeah, essentially it's kind of like you could liken it to Naruto's karma, where just like the implant of data is just there that allows Megami to have the power, but not the full copy, I guess. We'll look at it
I
that way.
have the power.
Do you
No,
have the power?
nope, not even one
Yeah.
bit. But yeah, that was a good chapter. It was definitely a wow.
Yeah. I was like, oh, snap. My man broke his finger. I was like, why would he do that?
I thought he was just testing out like if he can hurt Yuji. I'm like, why would you want to hurt Yuji? And then
Yeah. I mean,
now my boy's
well,
fingerless.
yeah, Yuji never gets hurt anyway because Sukuna just like kills him. Because if Yuji dies, he dies.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And you know what? Since he put the finger in Megami's mouth, Yuji's missing a whole finger.
yeah. But he'll grow it back, I feel like.
You think so?
Yeah.
You
No
think he'll just
doubt.
retain some of the regenerative powers and shit?
Yeah. Sukuna will be like, oh, here's the whatever. Or, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. But yeah.
All right, cool, fine. Um, shall we get into the Sacred Blacksmith, the weaker one of all our shows?
Yeah, that works.
Episode 10, Victim of Love, Tragedy. First half of the episode, agree or disagree, completely pointless to discuss.
Is it pointless?
Before the fighting started, I feel like the first half of the episode was there's no need to discuss the first half of it. I could be wrong. Maybe you in your observant ways found something worth mentioning, so let me know.
Yeah, depends on where you want to take up from.
Basically the moment the fight starts.
Which fight?
The well, between let me reword that. Between the fight ending and the fight starting again, all the middle stuff was basically nothing.
Yeah. So,
So,
um, yeah, just start talking and I'll fill it in at the end like I always do.
hey, I was wrong. Sicily did not magically appear, even though it just started raining. The lightning ball missed purposely, and he called the sword. Um, I don't think he called the
Elsa.
sword anything until.
He was like, Elsa, why?
Yeah, he did call it Elsa. Yeah, he did, and then it was like Elsa, as in the girl that was over here. Because
Yeah.
Arya did have that moment where she looked at the Elsa sideways and was just like, "Yo, Elsa, a demon sword?"
Yeah.
Because that's just the thing. We just run into fucking demon swords left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Then he retreated because Elsa didn't want to attack, and we had the part of the episode I felt was not worth discussing. One thing I did want to note is that the demon sword Elsa was buying hella medication for the old bastard who wants to kill Vanilberg. I think that's his name.
Bobanil?
Babanu?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? 'Cause I'm just saying it the way I see it spelled.
Yeah. You just yeah. They said Bobanil. So I don't know.
Bobanel, Bobanel, Bobanel. Well,
Yeah.
Bobanel is Bobanel. All right.
Is it?
Yes. And then after all the talking is done and blah, 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 they're like, hey, we need to do this. We actually find out a little information that there's a sword, a demon sword holding Bobanel in place, and it won't hold him much longer. So they're trying to create a sacred sword because that's only going to be the only way to defeat him. Um, Arya and Elsa talk a little more about how they were created, and Arya finds out that she's basically born of. She's basically made from Bobanel, which is why they say in their chant to kill God, because that's basically their God.
Yeah.
So they're created to, which kind of seems a little parallel to like this Peach Boy episode, if in a
Mm-hmm.
sense where like the the symmetrical aspect on where like the creation is born to kill the creator. And I'll touch a little more on that when we get to the Peach Boy, but nonetheless, we get back to the fighting, and it's Luke versus the hood guy who wants the old guy to kill Lisa because he says Lisa has Bobanel's blood in her. So, Cicely and Arya are fighting off the old guy and the demon sword. It's demon sword and demon sword versus Cicely and elder guy, and she holds them off. Um, and they get a good. Cicely gets a good win attack in the end, and Elsa takes the blow for the old dude, and then in a moment of whatever, do what you promised to do, she ends up stabbing him before she breaks in half. And Luke and the Huda guy, they're fighting, but the Huda guy also has a demon sword that like can decay anything it touches. No, it didn't
Yeah.
really happen with his arm. He just kind of just started bleeding.
Well, it had hit his cloak before it fully got onto him. So it kind of decayed a little bit, but I guess the decaying effect went more so to the cloak versus his arm.
Fair enough. And upon realizing the defeat of the other person, Homeboy revealed that Arya will too want to attack Lisa at some point because Lisa was born of Babanil's blood, and explained that Luke, in order to get out, used Lisa's flesh and Babanil's blood to create this Lisa to escape. Was that what it was?
He made a contract just to save his life to get
Yeah,
out of there.
yeah, and then he ended up saying it was true.
Yeah. So it's like, huh?
Indeed.
Yeah. So I think worth noting here too is let's see. Yeah, well, they go to essentially how mana is curse energy, and devil contracts are curses, and prayer contracts are demon contracts that don't require flesh. So I was like, ah, that's interesting. So essentially, everything's all the same. It just depends on how you do it, but most people don't know about the mana.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so yeah, that was a cool little tidbit there.
That
And
was the sacred blacksmith. You know what? Next week I might just say let's watch the last two episodes, and I can pick two new whole series.
yeah, also I was gonna say, demon sword is actually created for vengeance. So
Vengeance!
yeah,
It's
but
will
yeah,
be mine.
what are the last two episodes are you talking about for this? I don't think there was but one left for Sacred Blacksmith.
No, we're on 10. There should be two more, right? I have it pulled up. Hold on, I can tell you in 1 minuto how many should be left.
We're on
Continue.
11, and last one's no, yeah, we do have two left. So yeah,
Yes,
we're on
sir.
11. Yeah. So, but yeah, yeah, my man was Luke's a coward, and he doesn't have enough hatred to kill Bobanil. That's why his sword's it's not working out.
You know what? Amazingly enough, we haven't seen Cecily's tits in a while. It might be coming.
I don't know.
Either episode 11 or at the very end of episode 12. It might happen.
Mm,
And on a perv note.
maybe.
But yeah, what would you like to discuss next, my good sir?
Let's see. We can go ahead and go into Eden of the East.
And how my girl did that poor boy dirty twice.
What poor boy?
The one that's been dying to go out with her.
Osakai? Nah, she ain't do him dirty.
Nah, bruh, she made legit plans with him, and she
I
left him
think
hanging.
I
Now
think they
he's
were
in danger.
tentative, tentative plans.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, after, sure, we could do something. And she never said when after, not like right after.
I didn't even
Could
notice
have
her
been
say
late that night.
yes. Honestly.
I, yeah, I don't even think she said yes. I think she's like, sure. So he just went over on his own accord, but still. So Eden of the East, season 1, episode 5. This is no time to be thinking about that. So a lady's waking up. I think she might have been a player in the game, and she killed a man. And it looks like she kind of tortured him and then cut his meat off. I was like, oh, that looks kind of rough. Or it could be a a cutting off device. So
I don't know, man. From the angle, it looked like she cut his meat off.
yeah, so I was like, huh. So then she calls Jalise to clean up and all good stuff.
You notice the way she said it?
What?
She said it as if she didn't know.
Yeah, like she had a psychotic break
Yeah, she's like,
and went out.
Jalise, looks like I did it again. Same spot. I was like, what?
Yeah,
This wasn't a conscious decision?
yeah, cognitive. Yeah, I was like, huh, okay, well then. So then we flash on man Takizawa. He runs into someone who he knew before. And apparently he sent all those people to Dubai in order to be reintegrated back into society. So I was like, so he was good before this all happened, but but why did you delete your memory? Type deal still.
Oh, shit. I'm wondering why the man, after he clearly held some resentment towards, what's his name again? Takawa?
Akizawa.
Akizawa? He gave him a bag of meat buns after.
Yeah, I don't think there was any ill will towards them.
I'm also wondering, this man picked a random passport just for like because it matched up with homegirl's like birthday. It seemed like he picked that passport.
Yeah,
Does all his passports have the same first name or last name or some shit? Cause
I think they're all different.
right, they were all different. Like how do we have a character that like happened to know his name or like use the right name?
It could just be something set up and planned because he knew that Saki was going to be wherever and he wanted to go with or something. I don't know. It's just weird. There's a whole lot to unpack, and if we didn't pick this show, I probably would have finished this one already. Because I was like, man, I was like, what's going on? It's like I need to know.
It definitely seems one of the ones where you might have to watch it again just to like pick up on some things you didn't the first time.
Nah, I never watched nothing twice.
What?
Yeah, I don't believe in it.
I've watched Sons of Anarchy so many times.
I've seen once. I went through once, and that was it for me.
I've seen Sorter Online multiple times, Family Matters multiple times. I want to watch Supernatural again, but like you have to go through something at least one more time before you can completely ignore it to do something else. Before it
Yeah,
qualifies as background noise.
mm, yeah, yeah. I don't really rewatch stuff, but that's just how I roll.
That's just how you wrote.
Yeah, because I'm on to finding new stuff. I mean, occasionally maybe I'll just throw some on just to be rambling, but if that's the case, I normally just put on a book and keep it moving.
Aha.
But anyhow, yeah. So Saki has an interview she's going on today. She meets with her friend. He wants to get dinner later. And Takizawa texts Saki to apologize. And then he's like, oh, I just need to find out where she is and go in person. And he asks Jalise to find her. And I'm like, oh man, why are you using the phone, dog? Using the phone, they gonna know what you're doing. They gonna try to get your girl. She in cahoots. So okay.
How about him
So
getting the minister to say uncle, uncle?
yeah, that was funny. But I'm like, that, I was like, is that pertinent? But it's just funny, funny tidbit. So yeah, and then we flash to another man. He's checking up on Takizawa. It's like, oh, find a girl or whatever, and do this. And it's like, huh. And then we go back to the lady from the beginning of the story. I'm like, is she a scouting agent? She's talking to folks, asking them about things, and I'm like, huh. What is her purpose? What's she trying to do? She's scouting men to kill them? So, like, huh. And she gets
Possibly.
urges, yeah, she gets urges to kill. And so they didn't even give. Then we get back to Saki, and they didn't even give my girl a chance to show what she could do or answer any questions. Like immediately, he's like, "Oh, what would you do? What would you do with the whatever the first happened?" And he's like, "Oh, well, that's such a everyone says the answer, so we're going with someone else. Thanks for your time. Bye." I'm like, "Dang, you didn't even let her finish her thing." And at first,
So
I
what
thought she
other
was
answer
in.
would you want in that situation?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you want to say, "Oh, it's great that all those folks died." What? No.
And
Like
then he
it
would have
made
said, we're looking for someone with a little more morale.
compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah, compassionate. We're not quite liking your answer. She was damned if she do, damned if she don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm like, huh. He's like, hey, but we could get some lunch. I'm like, oh, my man trying to pull the old trick of hey, if you do this, I can get you in there, baby. So
Maybe.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, no, you get your own damn lunch. So she sits there for like an hour, and old boy comes by and spills ramen on her. I'm like, why would he come through that way? Like that makes no sense. I'm like, dude, the seam's open next to her, and you walk straight up to her and dump it on her. I'm like, it's like, no, you're being an idiot. What are you doing, guy? And turns out he did it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And they were mad because she missed the initial interview because she was on vacation, which it wasn't her fault because all this stuff went down and this and the other, and everything broke, and she couldn't get in there and get back. So they were just being jealous and petty, and human nature took over. Yeah, she hears all of this because she was in the bathroom stall cleaning up herself. And then my boy
Yeah.
Takizawa, he shows up to talk to her, and he whisks her away. Uh, After hearing her about a rough day, saying she was upset. And then old boy Osakai shows up just in time for him to get his heart broke.
Yeah, he
Yeah, so
does.
I'm like, dang, that's terrible. One of the worst feelings.
Well, there's plenty of fish out there in the sea.
Is there?
Maybe not in it. Maybe not in China, but Japan should be all
No,
right.
I would say China is very populated.
Not too much women though, from what I hear.
Japan is populated, all populated, but still. So so then Takizawa listens to her about how they did her wrong and like drove her away. And he's like, I'm gonna change the world like this, like, 'cause that's wrong for them to do that, and this, that, and the other. And then my man kisses her, and he's like, hey, you head back to my place, baby. We can change the world. And then Osakai goes out with his buddy. Meanwhile, he had made reservations at the restaurant for him and Saki, but it's like, bro, you didn't even like formally ask, like, hey, I made this reservations tonight. You just, hey, you kind of just want to go to dinner? No. What are you doing, guy? And then so he's a drunk fool. And the lady from before is like, laughing. I'm like, oh man, is he gonna die? Like, I don't know. He might
Perhaps.
die. I
Per-
hope not.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Well, she was calling him before it ended.
Yeah. Who knows? But I'm like, man, I'm sad about it. I hope he don't die.
No, you're not.
No, I don't care one way or the other.
It's a piece of shit. All right,
Yeah,
let's dive
he's
into let's dive into some unsurprising Peach Boy.
what? Peach Boy was great.
What?
No, I feel like we should have seen this already.
We should have.
Yeah,
The audacity to show us the flashbacks of the episodes that we should have seen after.
yeah. And I god awful. directed that part.
Yeah, it was just like I don't know who directed this, but like take scenes that you feel aren't necessary to the story because like you have a budget and you need to choose whatever. That's fine. Take scenes out. People are gonna be upset about it, but you know what I mean. If you do go with the anime, it is what it is. Don't fucking just decide I'm gonna put chapter 1 at episode 6, chapter 12 episode 2. You know what I mean? Like what are you doing there?
Yeah.
Well, it's just it's like it's like reading a book, just random as hell. Like I've read chapter 1, now I'm gonna read chapter 8, and go back to chapter 4, and read chapter 12. Like why? Why would you do that?
So, have you have you ever seen a Boy Meets World episode where old boy Corey started reading from the end of the book, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so proud you're finishing the book," and he's like, "Yeah, I've decided to read," and then he started going backwards reading. He's like, "Oh, so I already know what's going to happen, so it makes sense." I'm like, "That's smart."
Yeah, in that sense, yeah, I guess if you want to like my trick in school was just to read the first and last page of each chapter and
And
make up what I thought happened. And
yeah, I can tell you missed many assignments.
nah, dog, I pass English with flying colors.
Nah, he just made all that stuff up.
Yo,
Teacher
listen,
took pity on you. You pass English, but you don't know Plymouth.
listen. That's what they teach you in school. If you don't know a word, sound it out. That's what came
Yeah,
out.
but now, I didn't know a kid that we used to have to read books and then take the accelerated reader test on them
Mm-hmm.
for grades. And if you got like a 100% in the book, then that's whatever. That's your quiz grade or whatever. So this kid was like, "Hey, you gotta just read a page, skip a page. That's what I do." I was like, "All right." So
Read
that
a
was
page, skip a page.
yeah.
Oh man, listen. I learned growing up that the older you get, the more you can just bullshit a paper.
It depends.
In high school, no, not in high school. In college, I read nothing. It was just all bullshit. Straight A's, all bullshit. I got one F, and honestly, as much as like kids use this as an excuse, the teacher really did hate me for the lack of effort I put in his class. So I think he
Is
was just waiting for a chance to like give me a technical F.
it? I know exactly what you mean, though, because I had a professor like that, and I was like, really? Like this? What you gonna do?
Yeah, like it was so funny because like I didn't care about it. Whatever, I'm still passing overall. But he goes, he like starts complimenting me on what I wrote and how like well thought out it was, and then like goes, but this is technically not an essay, so you get an F. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, is what it is. But yeah, shit. Peach Boy. Episode 12, Resolutions and Goodbyes. All right, so in this episode, we learned that ogres are created from hatred of humans, which is why there can never be a coexistence between ogres and humans because ogres are the manifestation of human hatred, and then humans fear ogres and discriminate against them. So there's nothing that exists towards humans in ogres other than hatred. Besides the rare few ogres that we've seen that could maintain an open eye. For some reason, I feel like Sumeragi isn't really an ogre. I don't.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like
Yeah.
he's mixed or something. Like he might be an ogre, but like he's also something else.
Ogre and human.
He could be. He could be a hybrid and one of those hybrids that like make you more powerful for some reason. I mean, Makoto's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he somehow had the ogre powers, which is probably where his strength comes from, but also the peach eye, which I feel like just from what the big tree said in this episode, should only be accessible to humans.
Yeah. Power
So,
to purify.
mm-hmm. So Sally, Sally preaches peace, and the tree is explaining why there can't be peace. And then Sally's eye activates, and then boom, like she breaks herself free. And the tree preaches, "We can never have peace because your kind exists to eradicate my kind."
Yeah.
And he said, "If you want there to be peace, kill yourself." So
Yeah.
it seemed like Sally was considering for a moment, and then she looked over at the hair ogre who the tree was about to kill for being weak, and she defended her. And Sally proceeds to say, "I was wrong to negotiate. Now it's settle this peacefully, or I will kill you." I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay, you go, Sally. Kill away. I'm okay with it."
Yeah.
So ogre didn't go. Tree ogre didn't want to go down without a fight. Sally eradicated the thing fairly easily. Um, Hair ogre disappeared. I guess she realized that the tree couldn't take her down. Neither could I. And she ended up running away, which, in a sense to the previous episodes, I don't get why the hair ogre bears such a grudge against Sally. And maybe it's just a pride thing. Like maybe it's just the fact she got saved by a human. What do
See, I
you?
don't even know if she. I don't even know if she has a grudge now because everything's just all out of order. Because I thought she was cool with her before.
Yeah, you're right. I have no idea what episode the episode that I knew she had a grudge against Sally, and then they met. I don't have no idea what order that episode was shown in, so I can't tell.
Yeah, because I'm like, I was like, I don't know if she has a grudge.
Well,
Man,
thank you, all, director.
yeah,
So, they're celebrating the. Excuse me, yawning. Sorry about that. They're celebrating the defeat of the tree ogre. Sally falls asleep. She was kind of over. She was exhausted from, I guess, using that power, and she slept basically the entire day. So when she woke up, she saw Hawthorne, the elf, and the lizard folk talking, and she was kind of like just happy about the sight of like them not trying to kill each other. Um, Winnie said that she should stay there, but Sally said she has to go. Um, she feels like she's attracting ogres now, and where the first encounters may have been a coincidence, the last few definitely felt um like uh like they sought
someone
out after
was
her.
testing her powers.
Yeah, and like she's convinced someone knows about her powers and her, so she has to go. And she was about to go alone, and Hawthorne's like, "What do you mean alone? If you're going somewhere, we're chasing after you." And she felt moved about that, and that's how we got our click halfway through what was supposed to be not the end of the episode, the season.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So I don't know.
I like the
I
show. I just don't like the. I don't like
the
the fact that.
way they did
Yeah, the
stuff.
one thing I
Yeah,
was bitching about was like not even how it was written. So
yeah.
that's
It
annoying.
because it just jumped back and forth and whatever, and I'm just like, you never really got a good beat on it, and you're like, was that this episode or that episode? Or you're like, oh, they're going to go do this, and so I'm like, oh
Yeah, they
man,
would give you cliffhangers and then like go into a completely different fucking time. It's like, well, did she say yes or no to like Hawthorne or Sumuragi? And it's just like, oh, now let's see how we met Winnie the Witch. Like, what?
yeah, I don't know. Because essentially we met Winnie twice when she first showed up and saved Hawthorne, and then when they went to see her.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes no sense. But I thought something here worth noting was how uh, Sumeragi and Makoto were talking, and he was like, "Oh, you're that Sumeragi," and I was like, "What do you mean that Sumeragi?" Because I was like, did we miss something earlier from the other episode?
I can't tell, man, because I know from like I know that from the episode where Sally had to choose between Sumeragi and Makoto, that Makoto knew Sumeragi already.
Yeah, and he's like, I trust Sally's judgment at the
Yes,
end. So
but like I can't. I can. I would have to like literally watch or read. I would either have to read the manga or watch in the order someone said to watch it in
yeah,
to actually make sense of like all the questions I would have.
yeah,
I don't know, it was just dumb. It was dumb. Whoever, whether it was the director or someone told the director that that was a good idea, fire that man, or woman,
fired.
or it,
Get him,
or they.
get him up out of paint.
Fire
Get him out
everyone
the paint.
responsible for that atrocity.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought it was cool the explanation of the ogre vessels. How it's just they captured the hate and put it in a vessel called an ogre. So
Which makes sense. Like it makes sense why you would have like a chicken ogre and shit like that. Like anything can be an ogre because if you're just a manifestation of hate, then it would stand to reason that like it's understandable how a lot of ogres might have like a humanoid form, you know what I mean?
yeah, because maybe it's based off of someone they saw and they hated, and it's like I hate that man because he's beautiful, and it's became the ugliness that they took out.
Yeah, and like what if someone just had like a strong fucking hate for chickens and that's how a chicken ogre was made, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's a logical explanation of how ogres are created.
Yeah. So yeah, that's done. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe I don't know.
Do
So
you, homie?
maybe, but I did want to talk about how Sally powered up, and it looked like she was running super fast, and then they cut
Yo.
to her, and then it looked like she just running normally. I'm like, what?
It was the same. It's the same shit with like, um, it's the same shit in like Naruto and shit like that. Like, you know, or even One Piece. Like when they first introduced like a speed test, or like in One Piece when they first introduced Gear Second, and then like Sally when they're introducing like her supernatural abilities. It's like you know the person can move faster, and it's just like they look like they're running slow as shit. Like whenever you see Kakashi jumping from tree to tree, but then when he's running, everything it's like, all right, there's one tree, there's two trees, there's three trees in 5 seconds. I've seen you jump across 10 trees in 2 seconds.
I don't really notice that much in Naruto and them. And One Piece, I never really noticed that. But because Luffy, when he first did it, I was like, my man, Luffy moving,
Mm-hmm. It's like
and he
when
was
you get
running
to the
through.
future episodes, like you really like see like the speed boost in Gear Second isn't really like it doesn't even matter anymore. It doesn't
Yeah,
even seem like a speed boost.
well, is that because is that not because it's not fast, but because everyone else is faster with their stuff?
Even if everyone's faster, like with the training period and shit like that, like Luffy should still be maintaining speed too. But like it literally seems like, and this is just like it could just be like an animation thing, so people can like see the animation. But like it really feels like no one outside of the weaker members of the crew would have a problem keeping up with Luffy in Gear Second. Sanji is supposed to be the fastest, so like that one obviously, but it's just like it's weird. It's not consistent with like speeds, things like that. You know what I mean? It's like um I have a shit ton of examples, but like it's hard to put them in words.
Do you now?
Yeah, so like
Mm,
you know how like
get for
in
bullshit English courses.
what's up?
That's what you get for bullshit your English courses.
Oh, hey, touche, touche.
Can't put stuff into words, baby. What's up?
You know how like okay, let's say Naruto for example. You know how like they constantly like just vanish into like thin air because like they're just moving that quick.
Mhm.
Well, whenever they're having a serious battle, like let's say Sasuke and Naruto's final battle in Shippuden, running what they're mimicking full speed because they're leaning forward, their legs are moving as fast, but like in another scene where they're just like going into the distance, they'd cover the distance that they were running towards each other in much less time. I feel like.
Mhm.
So I just feel like animes can be a little inconsistency with speed. It's like that's probably why she seemed like she was, but she did seem like she was picking up speed, but then like she just seemed like she was moving normal as shit.
Yeah. At least give her a vapor trail or something.
Yeah,
Shoot, I'm like, man, she's slow. Carlos could outrun her.
yeah, for like 2 seconds maybe,
Maybe.
perhaps.
I don't know. I'll just be chilling.
Shall
But
we
yeah,
move
all
on?
right. Yes, on to the magical revolution of the reincarnated princess and the genius young lady. So, season one, episode five: a magic medicine and a magic sword subjugate a magic dragon. So, it starts off. You got some knights. They're trying to fight the kingdom of. They're fighting in the kingdom of Palatia. I'm gonna say is that. Uh, they're going to try to hold the line against the stampede while this is going on. And so we found out that Anna's wants the magicite so she could become a magician. And Yuffie's like, "Oh, why is that, huh?" And she's like, "Oh, because the magicite allows you to become a pseudo magic user." It's like, "Oh, you just need a biological medium as a catalyst, and she's gonna put one into her body." She's like, "Oh, I did all the clinical tests already for it." But Yuffie, she has her intrepidations about the magic site. And Anna says, it may turn me into a monster, it may not. Who knows? So then the fighting starts. And the leader, he's going to sacrifice himself to save someone. And so they're going through the sky, and my girl, Honest, jumps down and she slices up the bear-like creature in half. I was like, oh man, that's cool. Came down, slice it, swing it. I was like, yeah. So then she gets a sit rep from the knights and the leaders on the ground, and she tells them, "I'm gonna fight the dragon." And she's like, "Yeah," says I'm the only one that can fly. I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." And then she gives orders to tell Yuffie and the rest of them to stop the stampede. And then when Yuffie and Honest they talk, Yuffie doesn't want Honest to go fight by herself, but she understands why. Um, and Honest has she has some magic pills, which essentially just boost stamina. Which they had those like Naruto, or they have them like pretty much any anime where you need a little bit more power. Like
Ninja food pills.
yeah, all the stuff. So I was like, huh.
It's basically all
So
Choji Clan's really secret weapon revolves around.
yeah, so yeah, um, the pills actually make you feel hyper, and you get like a you lose your sense of reasoning. Those are the side effects. I was like, huh, interesting. So she takes one and she starts laughing like a mad woman and she's seeing colors. I was like, ooh, I don't know how good that is. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna go kill some small fry while I wait for the dragon. She's fighting and she's slicing and she's laughing it up. And then Yuffie shows up and she uses her explosion magic to decimate a whole bunch of them. And Anna, she's astonished by her work, what she's doing. And she's like, oh, this is real magic or whatever right here. Like, yeah, it is. Get there one day. And after that use of force, the dragon shows up. And Honest goes fight him, but her blade can't cut it. He has some sort of force field magic on there, which I was like, oh, he got to put on magic armor force field.
Yeah.
And then the dragon, he releases a blast, and Honest tries to block it with her shield, but she gets smoked, and she starts falling out of the sky. And my girl Yuffie, she's the see. This is where you see like the speed burst. I was like, oh, look at her move it. She was like, oh, I gotta get there in time. And she looked like she just like the initial stage of when Honest did her broom flight when it's close to the ground. That looks like what she was doing, just running through. I was like, oh, look at her.
Yeah,
Look at
she
her
looked like she
go.
started flying.
Yeah, that's what I was like. She couldn't fly high, but she could fly small, close to the ground.
Well, I think it was just so subconscious that she just probably didn't even realize she was flying. She probably could just straight up fly if she like
Yeah,
concentrated and trained it.
yeah.
But go
So
ahead.
yeah, so um they talk and they chat, and she's like, why do you want to continue fighting? Because she's gonna take more pills, but Yuffie stopped her. And Anda says a magician is to protect people's smiles. Like, I can't let the dragon take away people's smiles and the happiness and this, that, and the other. And then so they devise a plan to cut off its wings because they figured out that it takes a lot of magic energy to put the magical barrier, and the only thing keeping the dragon in flight is its wings. So they devise a plan to cut off the wings, and they cut off a wing. Um, they run smack into it, straight past it, going super fast, Mach 1. And while Yuffie's drawing his attention upwards, the dragon looks up, and Honest jumps down and slices off a wing. It was a struggle, how to do the typical, I got to struggle through to cut this. Ah,
Yeah. Go, go, go,
plus,
go!
plus ultra. So then she cut off the wing. The dragon falls, and he's not done yet. He's going to release a big old giant blast.
My man had a death ball.
Yeah, I was like, oh, look at him. And so Anna says she's going to cut it because if they dodge it, it's going to destroy everyone in the back battlefield and might even get to the city. Who knows? And so she turns off her blade limiter, and which I don't understand why she starts coughing up blood because it's not like she's putting in her own mana or anything.
Yeah, I don't really get it either.
I mean, unless it was like being that close to mana without mana does something to you.
Hmm.
But I was like, why is she coughing up blood? Is it so much physical strain to hold that much mana? Maybe I don't know. I figured they might have just thought that it was just something worth doing in
Hmm.
that instance. So she ends up cutting it, and then she ends up cutting the dragon too. And then we find out that the dragon can actually talk. And I was like, why you just ain't talk the whole time, dragon? And say, why y'all fighting me? I just want to eat these monsters up. What's up?
Nah, I don't think. I think that dragon wanted to lay waste to some areas.
I also think that maybe the dragon just wanted to die too.
Here's what confused me about the dragon dying, right? So he cursed her, right?
I didn't even say that yet, but
I
go
know, but
ahead.
like, we're there. I didn't skip a whole thing, but
No,
like
you
we're there.
didn't. But I was gonna lead up to it and do a big old fancy thing. But you took the wind right out of my sails.
My bad, dog. To window pick up, but I'm just confused. I was really confused because like the dragon went from accepting death to like cursing her. He didn't bless her because I thought where he was going was giving her his powers, and then it was just like, and then he goes, "May you be burdened with this curse forever." I was like, "Wait, what? Curse?" You went from like just accepting death to like cursing her just because she was concerned about you resenting her. I was just confused.
Yeah. So yeah. So essentially the dragon talk, he says, do what you want my corpse. And Honest is like, oh, I'm sorry. You resent me, don't you? And he's like, resent you? Huh. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna engrave the symbol for my being, my very existence on your soul for all eternity. Which, um, not really sure what his existence was. It could just be he engraved some magic on her that she could use, but we don't really know yet. We don't know what's going on. All we know is just because she was like, "Is this wisdom or is this like something else?" Because he put the curse on her. Because I guess it's some circles, too much knowledge is bad or something, or the curses have too much energy means you might always be hunted or something, or people might not understand you.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know exactly what this curse entails.
Plus, they emphasize so much on the magic site, so she can like do magic, and we paid no mind to that. We did nothing. We went straight to a celebration scene.
Yeah, I know. So it's crazy, but
Yeah.
yeah. So we get celebration. Yuffie and Honest dance. They share a moment. They talk. Um, Yuffie says she finds the touch of a man oppressive.
Uh oh.
So yeah, I was like, huh. But I think that's more so to do with the fact that Prince Algard did what he did to her in front of everybody because she keeps flashing back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hey, listen, that could have been the push he need to swing over to the fairer side.
I don't know, but I was like, yeah. So that could be it. Who knows? But yeah, it definitely was giving me uh, end of season vibes.
And we're only like what 6 episodes in.
Yeah. So I was like, oh man, it's about to be over.
Nope.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see where this direction goes.
It really did give end of season vibes though.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, you got anything else you want to talk about, Herb?
No, I did start looking at another one. Ice Blade Sorceress Shall Rule the World. It's pretty cool.
His
I think it's a
blade
new
sorcerer
one.
shall rule the world. It's a newer one, right?
Yeah.
Herbie, you're
Um,
watching all my freaking shit that I could pick for the podcast.
hey dog, you either gotta get with it or get lost.
Damn.
Nah,
Well, it's
it's
increasing my list of things I can just watch.
yeah. I think it comes out weekly. I was like, oh, here's one. As English done, let me watch this while I work out. So I did. Watched the first two came out. I was like, oh snap. And I was like, episode three was in German dub. And I was like, what going on here? So I was like, oh
I'll treat the party.
yeah. Duden Schnitzel. I was like, oh, okay.
Alright, okay, alright.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to be
But
careful
yeah.
what I pick next. Or what I
You ain't gotta
don't
be
pick.
careful. You just, just gotta pick some. What else is on my list? I got the Revenger in there.
I also have the Revenger in there.
Yeah,
Charlotte, um, you already the Plunderer, which I think you watched.
I did watch that one.
Um,
That one was interesting.
Log Horizon. You watched Shinobi no Otoki. I know that.
Hmm.
To Your Eternity is on my list. Tsukamichi Moonlit Fantasy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You watched it?
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess I'm not picking that one.
It was a good one though. I enjoyed it.
I'm sure you did.
I
You
hate it.
piece of shit.
Hey man, got time on my hands. This is what I do, dog.
I
This is
can't.
what I do.
Can't watch nothing with Herbie.
Hey man, who fault is that?
He's watching too many new animes.
You know I
Le-
like the new stuff.
Leave me with the more obvious ones. The ones I'm gonna
Nah,
know what it's about. I know what this is about.
shoot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got some stuff I pick up. Yeah. Just my list, let you know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, all the stuff. McRonald's.
All right. Oh man. Okay. All right. So anything else, sir?
Nope, I think that's it, my guy.
All right. I am completely caught up to the beginning after the end. Fantastic manhwa, and although I'm glad I caught up, I'm sad I caught up because now I'm waiting. I'm at the mercy of whenever they release chapters.
Have mercy on my soul. Don't let my heart turn cold.
Yes. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.